Hello, and welcome to the pre-Christmas blood sugar balancing intro talk. I'm Simon Heale, and I'm a sports therapist and a health coach. And the talk today really is about just giving you the basic principles of what it means to balance your blood sugars, how simple it is to do it. I'm going to give you one or two, no more than two hints or tips or hacks, as it's now called, to take you into Christmas. And these are basic principles that you'll be able to adopt into your life. And really, what I'm trying to do here is to create awareness. And as I do with all my work, whether it's teaching mindfulness or working with people, is give you that awareness. And when you have awareness, then you have a choice. All right. So I'm going to be sharing the screen and we'll get on with the presentation. Okay, so as you can see, this is the introduction to blood sugar balancing. So what does it mean to have a balanced blood sugar? Well, it's that thing when you wake up in the morning, I know it's a bit grim, but you have energy, that you feel good, that your gut is mobile. In other words, you have no problem going to the loo. Yeah, you just feel good. Your skin feels good. You don't feel tired all the time. You're sleeping well. Now, hopefully some of that rings true, but if some of it doesn't, then just showing you a few of these tips now, I really believe will make a big difference to you. And this is what it can look like. So what do we mean by blood sugar? Well, blood sugar comes from the carbohydrates that we have. And during the day, if we have, let's say, a high level of food that has carbohydrate, in other words, if we start the day with toast and jam or lots of cereal, our blood sugar will spike, we'll have lots of energy, or even coffee, and then we'll drop. And then we'll come up and down, up and down. And what happens there is that there's enough evidence to show that too much of this blood sugar can damage our arteries. Insulin is released. And in some cases, if we have too much blood sugar or too much sugar, we become insulin resistant. The opposite of that is if we have low blood sugar, and we know when we've had that, we were feeling like really in a slump, we have low energy, we're tired, a bad mood or low mood, our concentration is poor. And in this state, cortisol is released. So where we would ideally like to be is somewhere in the middle. And this is where the blood sugar balancing sort of diet or food, changing your food habits will keep you in the middle so that you're not having that up and down, that it's somewhere in the middle. And what happens here is that we start to reduce our snacking. I mean, it's as simple as that. We just don't feel the need for the snacking. And what we're trying to do here, I know it's a lot of information, is turn the body from a fat storer. As you can see, where we have too much sugar, the body will take only so much and then it'll store the rest. We're turning the body from a fat storer to a fat burner. So this word carbohydrates, what is it? Well, carbs come in breads, rice, pasta, potatoes, cakes, sweets, some vegetables and fruit. And we need carbohydrates. The body needs carbohydrates for energy. So carbs are broken down, digested, turned into glucose, which is then absorbed into our blood, which we need for energy. So just to have a look at with carbohydrates is one of the macronutrients. So the other one, or the other two, are proteins, which we need. They're the building blocks of the body, helps repairing, helps growing muscles and bones, and we get that from our meats, from animal sources like lean meat, fish, eggs, but also, and this is my fantastic realization, nuts and seeds, beans and pulses if you're a vegetarian or vegan. Now, these do not negatively impact our blood sugar levels. Fats, we need good fats. Brain needs good fats, the omegas. So from nuts, seeds, oily fish, avocados, olives. And then you have the carbohydrates, which are the bread, rice, pasta, potatoes, cakes, sweets, Now, some of those will go, yeah, yep, I like those. And this is where the problem comes in. And what hopefully you'll see by the end of this talk are the good carbohydrates. And we can still enjoy our food, but by cutting out the high sugar processed foods, we will then give our body the best chance. Okay, so if there's one thing you remember, or hopefully two things, but one thing, it's this balance plate. Now, you may have seen it before, is that when we have a meal, that we're talking about a main meal, ideally you want half the plate to be dark green, non-starchy veg. And there's a list in a few moments' time. 25% protein rich. Now, ideally organic, but if you can't afford that, we're talking about, eggs, dairy, poultry, meat. You can see the list, tofu, and the rest is carbohydrate. Now it's good carbohydrates, root vegetables, parsnips, carrots, butternuts, but also the grains, quinoa, rice, millet. You've got all the stuff there, pasta, but whole meal. Well, what we're looking at here is whole foods. Whole foods. If it comes in a nice shiny packet, loads of ingredients, it's not a whole food. So another way to sort of judge how much is, a fist, starchy carbs, that amount of fat, 2 palmfuls of vegetables, and a palmful of protein. So hopefully that gives you some idea of how to get a balanced plate. Half your plate should be dark green, non-starchy veg. And we'll come on to that for the Christmas dinner at the end. So what do we eat? Now let's get down to it. So what's out, let's start there, is the high sugar and fast releasing carbohydrates. So cakes, biscuits, croissant, the high breakfast cereals, because they will shoot your blood sugar up. We'll find the alternatives in a few moments. Also avoid processed vegetable oils and hydrogenated fats. And what we're increasing or adding in is the unprocessed foods, whole foods, oats, beans, lentils, and then the foods high in essential fats, for example, fish, seeds and their oils, and colorful range of vegetables. Now, I promise you, it doesn't need to be expensive. What you're saving on not buying cakes or biscuits, you can have the money to buy more vegetables. And the grains, the quinoa, it's not expensive. Pasta. The main food that we're really trying to cut out, you'll see in a few moments, potatoes, white potatoes. Okay. So unlimited vegetables. Look at that. Broccoli, spinach, kale, beans, peas, courgettes, cabbage, onions, garlics. Look at all those wonderful, wonderful vegetables. Now you can get good, cheap or cheaper versions, kale, spinach at the moment. You can find this veg not highly expensive. So let's take a meal, breakfast. Now, normally we just have cereal or toast. So what we're saying with the blood sugar balancing is porridge, oats. So not you muesli that you buy in a packet because it'll be full of sugar, the dried fruit full of sugar. So make your own. But oats, plain oats, overnight oats, which is just soaks in water or a milk with berries in. Toast, 1 slice of toast, 1 slice of bread. That's enough, because otherwise it's too much. And on top of it, we'll probably have a jam. In other words, just sugar. So the one rule that I haven't mentioned is, with the carbohydrate, you must have a protein. You must have a protein because that balances it out. So you'll see there with the porridge, you'll have nuts with it, nuts and seeds. There's your protein. A whole grain piece of toast with a nut butter, peanut butter. There's your protein. Avoid jams unless it's pure fruit. The yogurt, plain yogurt, there's your protein. There you can put your fruit in. And you can see the fruit, low GL fruit, in other words, berries, with some kind of protein, which is nuts and seeds. Obviously cooked, you can see a lot of that is protein, but don't pack it out with the, what do they call them? The potato things. I don't know what they're called now, but also with toast. Smoothies, be careful. You'll see that a banana is very, very high in sugars, very high. So do more berries, more nuts and seeds, peanut butter, half a banana with your smoothies, and greens. Pack it out with greens. All right, but you're all hungry now. So another example: lunch, dinner. What do we have if we're on the run, or if we're at work? So you can get good salads. Fred do good salad. I know there are other places, but watch out for those sauces that they put on top. Keep it separate because there's a lot of sugar in there. So you can see, mix and match, good sources of protein with salads. My lunch generally, I'll have some eggs with, we'll use sort of leftovers or poached eggs on one slice of toast with a little bit of green or spinach. So you can see with sandwiches, one slice, wholemeal pita, one, oatcakes. Now this is the savior for me, oatcakes. Oatcakes is my real savior, oatcakes and hummus. And we'll get into snacks in just in a bit, but you can see all the different combinations, protein and carb, protein and carb. That's the key lesson here. When you have a protein, have a carb, or rather, when you have a carb, ask, where's my protein? Keep it small, keep it small. So ready meals, be very, very, very careful with ready meals because they're packed with sugar and salt. Source it, have a look on the back. How much is added? Carbs, choose whole grain pasta, new potatoes, brown rice, squash, etc. Okay, so snacks. I mean, why do we need snacks? Going back to post-war, there wasn't a snack. Why do we snack? But we do. And the shops are full of them, but you can snack well if we need it. The thing is, if your blood sugar is balanced, you will not need to snack. But when I coach people who either wanted to lose weight or increase energy, this is an area where we spend a lot of time on, is what do you need? And it is about preparation. So for example, and you choose, if I'm coaching you, you choose what works for you. So nuts and seeds. Nuts and seeds, there's your protein, but when you have it, you have a little bit of fruit. And you can take it with you in a pot. Slice of bread, 2 oatcakes and nut butter, or oatcakes and hummus. Cottage cheese and berries, protein, carbs. You can see the protein and carb coming through. Wholemeal pita bread, half a small tub of hummus. Oatcakes and hummus. Guess what I'm getting for Christmas? Oatcakes and hummus. Okay, so that's the snacks. So this is a really good example. An apple and some walnuts. I mean, I generally during the day have half an apple and a handful of almonds, and that really just takes away that habit that I need to have a cake or a biscuit. Now, what I would say is don't buy them or don't have them. Somebody I was coaching recently, one of the tasks or his thing that he realized he needed to do at work was to tell his co-workers, don't have biscuits there, please. I don't want them there. This is my container for my snacks. And they were his oatcakes, hummus, apples, and almonds. And it worked. And in fact, it got other people thinking about it. And they started bringing in better snacks. So just moving on quickly in terms of the blood sugar, in terms of drinks, try to keep, in terms of caffeine is obviously a stimulant. So we want to try and reduce that. So limit or avoid caffeinated drinks. 1 or 2 coffees a day is fine. If you have too many, it'll shoot your blood sugar up, and then you'll start to snack, or you'll feel like the need to have more sugar. Avoid or reduce alcohol. Ideally, no more than 5 glasses of wine during the week. Water, 8 glasses of water per day. Unlimited herbal, non-caffeinated tea. So you can see what we're trying to increase, what we're trying to decrease. It's about stimulus. We're trying to reduce that massive shooting up. We're trying to keep everything on a nice balance. Weeks 1 and 2, if you're really looking at this, and if you're going to be doing the 30-day challenge at the beginning of the year, this is what you would do. I send you, if you're working with me as a health coach, we work week by week. You do a meal plan. It's about planning. So you're more aware. So you are in control. Plan your food for the week. Eat regularly, every 2 to 3 hours. Keep that blood sugar level. Choose the right type and quantity of carbs. Eat tablespoons of seeds, nuts and seeds a day. So you can see what we've got. We've got whole foods, no ultra processed foods, no high sugar foods. Reduce refined foods and sugars. You can see that. Get ready to start feeling great. So just to go back, just a fruit comparison, just very quickly, you can see a large punnet of berries, 600 grams is the same as 6 raisins or half a banana. I mean, that's astonishing. 6 raisins, a whole punnet of berries. That's how much sugar is in the raisins and the equivalent in berries. So go for the berries. And remember, just have a little look. Banana, very, very high in sugar. But they're great, but reduce the amount. So these, the oatcakes, bread. We love our bread. But just have one slice. So one rice cake is the same as 3 oatcakes. You know, half a croissant is very high. So just reduce the amount. Just have half a croissant, half a slice of white bread. Maybe tricky, but just try it. Again, it's about breaking habits. We convince ourselves we need something. But if you have a better alternative, you start to break habits. And that's what this is all about. So again, cereal comparisons. If you do like your cereal, small bowl of puffed rice or Rice Krispies, 10 grams, is the same as 90 grams of porridge oats. Now, we're talking about the glycemic load here, not the glycemic index, the glycemic load, the GL. That's what the sugars do to the body. So you can see how oats, low carb granola, much better for you. It's more a whole food. Whole food, much better than anything processed. Alcohols, if you look, I mean, alcohol, we love a drink, or some people love a drink. Just reduce it or have lots of water with it. The sort of best, the best sort of low GL is vodka, lime, and soda. So the starchy carbs comparison, just to sort of finish with this section, is if you have a look at on the left-hand side, or possibly your right, pumpkin, carrots, quinoa, the quantity there, and the bottom on the right. French fries, 3 French fries or half a baked potato is the same as 185 grams of pumpkin or 160 grams of carrot. That's how high the sugars are in white potatoes. So it's quite, I mean, I don't know, it's shocking, but when we go and have, let's say if we have fries, we have a lot, but it's a lot of starch. Now, unless you're running a lot or burning energy like crazy, that just sits in the body. So only have a few or change it. Ask for something else, brown rice, or just vegetables. Again, you're breaking habits here. Break the habits. So the alternatives, substitutes, rice or couscous, cauliflower rice, mashed potato, mashed cauliflower, butternut, beans, celeriac, roast butternut, courgettes. So there are alternatives. There are alternatives. There's a big fight going on outside. So you can see there are alternatives. It just means planning. It just means planning. Okay. So I'm just going to come out of this for 1 second, and then I'm going to find another thing just to take you into Christmas. So hopefully by now you've got an idea of the basic principles that we are working with. And that is, hopefully you can see this, put this into the middle, is protein with a carb and a balanced plate. Protein with a carb and a balanced plate. So for Christmas, the survival guide. Main thing is really don't try and diet over Christmas. Now that you've got those basic principles of protein with a carb, and also what are the good carbs, whole foods, you can start to shop better and reduce the high starches and then just increase the vegetables. So take, it's also about planning. If you're going out, take healthier options with you. And if you would like, email me and I will send you this document, which has menu choices for Christmas, different alternatives. And that will give you everything that you need. So be prepared. Be prepared. So it says stock healthy snacks. Healthy snacks, oatcakes, crudity, hummus. There's your protein and there's your carbs. Pates, all of that, the fish pates, there's your protein. What are you going to have with it? Don't have to have toast. You can get good oat-based crackers. Prevent hunger. In other words, don't let yourself make sure you've got something in between. So almonds, a little bit of fruit, protein and a carb to keep your blood sugar balanced. And keep your shopping list visible. So it just means that you've got things there. It's all about planning. Prep your tasty snacks when you have time. Mindful meal planning. So just learn more about good whole foods. Learn more. Hydration. Enjoy in moderation. Stay active. Over Christmas, it's a time, go out for walks. Keep the body moving. Plan for social events, but also have an accountability partner. Share what you're trying to do with somebody. Not to sort of chide you, but just say, this is what you're doing, so that maybe they can say, help you and join the process with you of finding out, being curious about what the good foods might be. As I say, I will send you this document, this little pamphlet, and you can have a look at what the better options are and what the alternatives are for having a good, happy Christmas. So yeah, just lastly, nutrition swaps, sugary desserts, fruit with protein. So again, berries and nuts, whole grains, lean proteins, healthy breakfast start to the day. Use healthier fats, trim the sugar in recipes and add nuts. So hopefully by now, having been banged on the head with all this information, you've got an idea of what it means to have a good balanced blood sugar and how easy it is to bring that into your day. If you would like more information about balancing your blood sugar, email me, simon@corehealthsuite.com, and I can talk you through something. You can also book a free discovery call if you're interested in having some health coaching with me. And we can go through what it is you want and you will find your own solution. And also in the new year, I'll be putting together a 30-day blood sugar balancing program where you are kind of on your own, but you will get all the information you need each week to start your journey and really to be the best version of yourself. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this. I hope it made sense. You've got the recording. You can go back if I went too fast over anything, but all the information is there. So go out, have a little look at those ingredients, whole foods, protein with a carb. All right. Thank you very much for listening. And if I don't hear from you before, enjoy your festive season.